You're listening to Heroes in the Moment.
What's up, heroes? I'm Michael.
And I'm Nathan.
And today we're breaking down the final trailer for Blue Beetle. I don't know. I mean, I'm holding out hope. I mean, I think this movie definitely, it looks fun. It looks like a movie that we've seen before, obviously, time and time again. But it could be a good movie. I mean, it could be a sleeper. I don't think it'll do very well. But
I think we should go in with very low expectations.
Very low.
That way we're not disappointed.
We're not disappointed.
You know?
Yeah, I completely agree. But let's get into this trailer shot by shot and just think about it real quick here. So we go in and we get Jaime, played by Zola. I can't pronounce his name. I'm so sorry. Miguel from Cobra Kai. And he say, okay, I'm going to fly. He's already got the ability. And he's like, I'm just going to do it. Let's do it. And he just jumps off and he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm down. I'm committing.
Yeah. You got it. You got to protect the suit around your body.
Yep. Got to force it.
Like birds, like pushing like their kids out of their nest and making them fly.
Exactly. And then he turns into the Blue Beetle and he's able to fly. So, that's the suit transition to where he turned into it was really cool. I can't even deny that.
The CGI looks dope.
It does.
You can tell they put a lot of money into it.
You can tell. Which is weird too, because I didn't think it'd be, because this was originally supposed to go straight to Max instead of be a theater. So interesting.
That would have been a big loss if it went just straight to Max, I think.
It would have been. It would have been.
No one's grabbing Max just because they put Blue Beetle on it, I think.
That's very true. All right, so then we get a good glimpse of the Scarab for the first time, kind of a good, really zoomed up glimpse of it. It's really cool. I'm excited to explore the Scarab. Blue Beetle is a very interesting character to me personally in the comics. I've really enjoyed him ever since. I think my first introduction to him was way back when I was a kid in Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
When I watched that show and in that animated show, and he was in that show, I really enjoyed it there, and I would appreciate it and seeing him now, but I just don't think he still deserves his own movie at this point. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes there. And then, of course, we see the scene we got in the first trailer, scene we've seen several times before, of the Scarab going and attaching himself to Jaime and him turning to Blue Beetle.
It's a weird scene, I think.
It is a weird scene. George Lopez is just fascinating. It's really interesting to me in this movie.
I know, dude.
Because he's not like...
Where does he fit in?
I know. I think he just is like, you know what? I'm going to have fun with it. And he's funny, but he's also just doesn't remind me of George Lopez in this movie. So it's really funny and weird.
He's just kind of there.
Oh well, no big deal. All right. So then... we get him flying around. We get more images of him flying around and learning how to use his suit and his powers. The cutting through the bus. To me, this final trailer seemed like a lot of repeat.
I know. If you're going to put out one final trailer, I think there should be
something that'll hook you,
like a drop. At least with the Ahsoka trailer that they showed Thrawn. But obviously it's not going to have any big reveals like that. It's like, what else can they show? I feel like the first trailer kind of covered the whole movie.
I know, pretty much.
The whole plot.
Exactly. Right here we get a glimpse of the villain who looks very Craven Hunter-esque.
Yeah.
But again, he's one of those villains that they completely countlessly do, and it's so overdone to where the villain has the same abilities as the hero. It's overdone.
Yeah, it's the same, and then they always have like the same motives too.
Exactly.
Like they were spurned. They want their powers.
Exactly. I think of the ones that done it right. Well, like Iron Man, Ironmonger. They did that right.
Yeah, former
that was great
business partners.
But then you have others that like I don't know what's another good example. Captain America, Red Skull, maybe. They have similar abilities. just certain other aspects of characters that are done. But I want more Batman Jokers. That's what I know. Completely opposites.
Completely opposites.
That's what I would love to see more of.
Order and chaos.
Repeat, same character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Venom and Spider-Man, or something, those lines. Then we see George Lopez again freaking out about the government and its agencies and military tech invading the kid, etc.
I know.
He's comedic relief, and that's obviously there. And then we get to see this big old facility lab. And I just can't help it. You have this lady who's the big overseeing figure. You have this villain who's hired off of her, but then will go rogue, obviously, in the middle of the movie and do his own thing because he wants the Scarab for himself.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie in different fonts millions of times.
I know. It just kind of feels like copy and paste.
It exactly does. Really does, with new actors. It's all it is. You get Blue Beetle turning in. We see, this looks like a Act 2, first time the villain and the hero fight, right here next to
and
this
of course
party.
He's gonna get beat, right? In Act 2, then it's gonna come back in Act 3 and win.
Yep. And then we see this guy. He's getting his abilities that look similar to the Scarab. And I've never even heard of this guy in the comics.
What's his name?
I don't even know.
I don't know
honestly,
either.
This is what his suit looks like.
That looks stupid.
I know. It doesn't look necessarily stupid. I don't think it just looks. It's the same thing. Like it's Blue Beetle but red.
Yeah,
he's the red Beetle.
It works. It works in Man of Steel. right?
Yeah.
Because you have like two of like the last people on the planet. One's trying to defend his now new home, and one's trying to restore his old home.
And you get the difference of biology
cool.
because Kryptonians' blood, I mean, they have powers when it comes to the yellow sun. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Here it's like, why are you giving him the same abilities as Jaime? Like, what's
By the way, your beetle is cool. I
Yeah.
want beetle powers too.
I know.
A kid can't have all this power for himself. I must stop him.
Right. It's just the same kind of thing. The music in the background is also very stereotypical. I mean, they're trying to get that pump up music, but then you're like, it's just not hitting. This time around in this movie. I mean, I would like it to be good, but this movie's not going to do well in the box office.
It's not, dude. I'm telling you, it's going to bomb.
Not something we're looking forward to. And then we get glimpses now of the third act fight where Blue Beetle's like, he's ready to go and he's pumping out.
Yeah.
And he's like confident looking and it's typical, typical once again.
What we've seen.
Stereotypical stuff fighting the main villain. And then you get another piece of his flying experience. He's a hero whether he likes it or not. Not sure if I like that piece. I mean, sure, he may not want to be and may not have asked for this, but everybody wants to be a superhero. I mean,
I know. Not unless you're like, I don't know, a really bad person who just is born with aspirations to just be terrible. Yeah.
I know, yeah. Then we get this shot that I really liked. It's probably my favorite shot of the trailer is where he's in the suit, but he doesn't have the mask. And I think he looks really good there. I think he captures what it looks like, and he looks like in a very emotional state. And to me, honestly, you know what this movie reminds me the most of? And it looks exactly like it? Spider-Man Homecoming. This looks exactly like Spider-Man Homecoming.
You're right.
It's it's the same plot.
Yeah. It's like his, dude, imagine if Blue Beetle's like, girlfriend's dad is bad.
I know, like imagine that too.
That'd be wild. Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
But you just see like Homecoming's just done like better.
It is, and it just looks exactly like that. And then you got the target, the family, Blue Beetle coming in and protecting them, and all this stuff we've seen before. Once again,
yeah.
One thing that we didn't see before is him riding his Blue Beetle like looking ship. From the former Blue Beetle, we know we saw in the Blue Beetle cave in the last trailers. So. All that stuff, and then we find him using his powers correctly, learning he can do anything with his mind, and has no limits there. Well,
that's a lot of power.
It is a lot of power. Your mind is a very, very strong place. Imagine like constantly being in a lucid dream.
I know. I would just go like Robin Banks, dude. You know, like just build like a protective bubble around yourself, and like no law enforcement could stop you.
I completely agree.
I don't know.
Then you get your title sequence, and then you get the stupidest part in the trailer to me. This part was stupid. I know they put it in there for comedy, but I was just like, this is stupid. You have grandma with big old minigun, machine gun, just going, I'm ready to go. I'm just like, you kidding me? First off, I had PTSD with the minigun from Fortnite.
Yeah.
And then now
that Fort gun would like, it would rip through your builds.
It was
dude.
messed up.
You'd have like a little tower going. Like we'd be like in the end game camping.
Especially in creative mode. When we go against people and you had the unlimited bullets.
Yeah.
And that was before the no warm down.
Yeah.
It would just shoot blast right through. You would just die. And it made me so mad.
I'll admit, I was definitely partaking in such activities.
Memories. But anyway, this movie, I mean, let's do a predicted rating out of 10 real quick. Predicted rating.
I'm giving it a 4.
A 4?
I think a 4. I think besides like the Sony-verse movies, this will be one of the worst superhero movies recently. Yeah.
I don't think that. I think I'm leaning towards 5.5 kind of.
Okay. I really think I'll think Craven is better.
You think Craven will be better than this? I disagree. I think this movie will be decent. I just don't think it'll be like fantastic or anything amazing. But I don't think it'll be one of the worst superhero movies ever. I don't think that. But I think about 5.5. It could raise our expectations or it could lower. We'll see. In time. But we'll just have to wait and see with that.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, let us know by giving us a review and a download. Our podcast, Heroes in the Moment, is available on all major podcast platforms, so check it out. If you want to stay up to date with all of our news, our announcements, updates, check out the Instagram at Heroes in the Moment.
And we just want to thank y'all for listening, and as always, we love you 3000.